So I have TestFit up on the screen. I'm going to make sure that I have saved the file with the name that I'm going to use to import into Revit. So under File, I'm just going to hit Save here. And we're going to actually end up importing each individual parcel into TestFit, but you'll see how that goes in a minute here. So let me go ahead and call up TestFit. I have a new document open. And if you've installed the plugin correctly, you'll have a TestFit logo or tab, should I say. And you can go right to projects. And this will allow you to browse for the file you want. And that's not showing up on your screen, so I need to move it over, sorry. Browse for the file you want. We can open up, and we're using test Alfred State Run 2. And go ahead and open that. And now what's really important is to understand kind of how this importing the geometry functions. You can select all kinds of features that you want to import. And one of the things that I want to point out is that you can actually assign different wall values to the walls that will come in. And the one that I want you to pay particular attention to is the facade wall. And I've actually created, I have it in this document, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to create a facade wall. So I'm going to just cancel out of this for a minute. Because it's important that we have a wall that's kind of unique for the facade, because we may want to delete that and replace it with another wall. And so having a unique name for it could be really useful for us. So I'm going to take a generic wall and edit it and duplicate it. And I'm just going to call it facade wall. And you can do this for any of the elements that will get imported. But now that we have that facade wall available to us, we don't actually even need to draw anything. But I'll do that just to cancel out of this. And now I'm going to go back to TestFit. I'm going to go back to the project and move this window over that always shows up on the wrong screen. And I hope the dialog for making the facade one showed up too. And so now I have this idea of being able to actually select that facade wall. And for some reason, it's already selected it for me. So I'm ready to execute that and import the site. And we'll see that's the first one. It's called Site A. So we'll let that go ahead, and you can see it's down redrawing and regenerating it. And let's just let's give this a minute, because this dialog box should just disappear when it completes. So it might have to do a couple of steps. I'll hit pause just in case it's going to take a long time. That took just a little bit longer than I was talking. So now that's imported in. We can zoom out and let's just go and look at it from a 3D view. So we've imported these kind of townhouse units. And now the thing that I wanted to point out is that all the facade walls are actually coming in as facade walls. So if I was to do select all instances visible in the view, all of the facades would light up. And then I could actually, for now, just hide them in the view. And now what would be important about that is now the ability for us to actually use these slabs themselves and place what could be the furnished apartment and the facade all is a model group in order to actually create more realistic buildings that we're desiring to do inside of our BIM modeling environment. So that's the reason for selecting specifically that special wall called a facade. So just a technique or an idea about using a technique. So there's our first import. Let's go ahead and continue to build up our site. So back to project. And I'll bring this back on the screen again. And now we'll just do site B and execute. And that one showed up pretty fast because it was simple. And I'm not exactly sure, just a little modeling issue there. Let's do it one more time. Actually, two more times. So now we'll grab C And then finally, D. And there we have all of our parcels imported. And once again, let me zoom in here. And then if, for instance, you wanted to just look at these, the interior partition walls, we can delete this facade. And now we have the modules of the layouts for each one specific floor plate. So we could really populate this very quickly. And TestFit does give you a tool for automating that currently, but I found it really quite dysfunctional or in development at this point. So it's really nothing that I would actually assign for this project for us. So next, we'll just talk briefly about how we can start to put this into a presentation sheet so we can submit it to our blog site.